Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. Many of us are old enough to remember that line from the Wizard of Oz. But did you know that it's one of the two most important statements in the movie? And the movie, as an old model for self-esteem, has a message for modern day bullying and suicidal thoughts. Now, I have to admit, I didn't catch that the first 54 times I watched it. But I'd like you to come with me as I revisit and rename it. And think of that line in slow motion. Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. Self-esteem. We need to be a little more concerned with who we are and what we have to get where we're going. The title of this speech reminds us that we must be the masters of OS, ourselves. And the movie showed us that when we are, we can truly go home by appreciating and living our lives to the fullest. Now, Dorothy is our model. And like many of us have done, she started out having a bad hair day. Dorothy had just had enough of being ignored and told what to do, and she just wanted to get away from it all. You see, they didn't have Facebook back then, so she couldn't create an imaginary life online. She had to choose to experience it as one of her dreams. Thus, Dorothy decides that she's going to start from scratch. Now, what could be more from scratch than being born? I want you to fasten your seatbelts, open your imagination for this picture I'm about to paint, and focus on the chronology of the movie, beginning with Dorothy spinning through the air in her room. You see, Dorothy's room represents the womb. Before we land in this world, we are spinning and swimming and kicking in a state of unconsciousness. And as our birth is celebrated, somewhere someone else may die. That's the house landing on the witch. The first people Dorothy meets are little people, as we sometimes call kids or babies, especially in the nursery. And when we're babies, isn't the outlook of our lives one of innocence, with a golden path of opportunity before us? And we have a lot of people encouraging us in their own way to go this way and to go that way, but always forward, always with a smile, always reminding us to be ourselves. Glinda, the good witch, who represents our prayers, says, "It is always better to start at the beginning of our journey." So we walk that road in faith, knowing that good and evil vie for our attention and that problems will eventually become like monkeys on our backs. But when we focus on our goal, we pick up a sense of knowing that good will guide and prevail, giving us the heart to remain strong and the courage to push on. The scarecrow represents that sense of knowing. He sings, "I would dance and be merry, life would be a ding-a-dairy if I only had a brain." 55 times later, and I still don't know what a ding-a-dairy is. But throughout the movie, he dances, is always upbeat, and actually concocts every plan to guide us from point A to point B, still never taking credit for each success, until finally the master of OS gives him the one thing that other scholars have that he doesn't: a diploma. The master of OS tells the Tin Man, a heart is not judged by how much you love, but by how much you are loved by others, and bestows upon him the one thing good deed doers have that he doesn't: a testimonial of appreciation and esteem. The master of OS tells the lion that he has been confusing courage with wisdom, the wisdom to retreat, then gives him what all heroes have that he doesn't: a medal. In fact, each of the three characters or characteristics Dorothy adds to her life is dependent upon the others to achieve their full potential. And each becomes satisfied by a token of public approval, a token that, like ourselves, Dorothy cannot and should not be satisfied by. For our paths are marred with many trials and tribulations, darkness and light. We learn to play, sing, and share as time and again we stumble, but only when we lose sight of our true path. And when our search is ended, we find ourselves more appreciative of who we are, what we have. And when we become the master of ourselves, we don't allow others to define us and force us into uncomfortable situations, because we truly find that home is where the heart is. For as Dorothy recites to that angel that we each have assigned to our prayers, the second most important statement in the movie: if I ever go looking for my heart's desire again, I won't go looking any further than my own backyard. Because if it isn't there, I never lost it to begin with. So pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. You must be your master. You must be your master. You must be your master, and I must be mine. We must each be the master of ourselves. Thank you.